All right, all right. Welcome, guys. Welcome to RIZN. All right, my name is Emmanuel, and today, guys, I want to be talking about the one tip. There's only one tip that you need to know when it comes to copywriting. It doesn't matter if you are in it doesn't matter if you're in a service. Let's go ahead and get my pen. It doesn't matter if you're in a service-based, industry, or if you're in a product-based industry. Okay, it does not matter what industry you're in. What we're going to do right now is I'm going to give you this number one copywriting tip. Now, what makes me an expert in doing this is I've been running ads and managing basically for the past almost 2 years now, right? And what I have learned is we've all been copywriting. We've all been in sales. Copywriting is basically selling, but with the written word, okay? You're selling just by writing, right? But now you have to understand something is when you're selling, right? Via copy. It's not as easy as selling in person because guess what? People can see, I like, for instance, if I was to sell to you, like, I wanted to sell you to your product, you can see my body language. You can see how I'm dressed. You can see how I look. So you can go ahead and make that conscious decision and say, you know what? I want to buy from this guy, or no, you know what? I don't want to buy from this guy. There are a few things in which that you have to think about. But when you're selling copy on paper, it comes from a perspective as though they don't know per se who is the number one person that's writing this. They don't know, they can't see your body language, right? So when you write the copy, the most important thing that you have to understand in copywriting is they cannot see you, right? So there's no element of body language, right? But you can invoke in them emotion, right? The main thing is you want to think about it in a sense is you want to invoke in them an emotion, right? An emotional feeling, right? Let's say, whatever emotion you want them to feel, right? You want them to feel happy, right? You want them to feel sad. You want them to feel, you have to think about it as though they have to sell themselves. Very important keyword there is they have to sell themselves. Okay. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to give you an example, right? Let's say I was going to write copy for, I'm going to say this for insurance, for instance, right? I'm going to say this for insurance, but who is my target audience? Okay. And this is where I'm going to lead into the number one tip. The number one tip is, right? Who is my target audience? Now, if you're going to write any sort of copy, okay, I always say this, very important. Look at what other people have written first so you can know what's running. And if you're going to write Facebook ads copy, I highly recommend you go to Facebook ad library and look at the ads on Facebook, right? If you're going to write Google copy, then you can either, opt in, search, you can go on Google and actually Google and see the copies that are coming in, right? You cannot just write copy from blank. You need to first see what's out there, okay? So the first thing if I was to write insurance copy is I would see what the current copy on the market is, okay? I'm going to see what the current copy on the market is. That is the first thing first. I'm going to write copy. Then the second thing is I'm going to pick my target audience or avatar, okay? Because you have to understand they cannot see me. So which means I have to think from their shoes, okay? Which brings me to the tip, which is the number one tip, which is you have to think like your avatar. You have to think like your audience, right? Like, for instance, if you're going to write copy, right? Email copy, it could be ad copy for, let's say you want to sell insurance, but you want to sell insurance to people who just became homeowners, right? Okay. Now, you have to understand is how do they think? It's very important. How do they think? Right now, the reason why I'm bringing this is this. Now, I typically use a sheet. Now, I'm putting this in the sheet. I'm still making it up, so it's not done yet, right? So the first thing I do is I kind of want to see, what is the product? What kind of person are they? Are they problem aware, solution aware, or product aware? Right? If I was going to sell insurance, for instance, it's like, okay, what they're aware of the problem, which is, if they died, their loved ones will suffer, right? They're also aware of the solution that they need insurance, right? But they're aware of the product. That's where the product comes in, right? So which means they're not product aware, which means now I have to educate them on the product. That's where you have to think about it, right? So think about it. If there was 3 steps, now they're already on step 3. They're already warmed up. All I have to do is pretty much just go ahead and just go straight in, right? Now, if I was selling SaaS, for instance, right? Most people have observed and if I was selling software as a service, right? I have to think about it is my target audience. If I was targeting business owners, are they problem aware, solution aware, or product aware, right? Are they obviously the problem? Are they aware if they even have a problem? Let's say they're not making any money. Are they aware that if they increase their lead generation, they generated more leads, they'll get more appointments. Maybe they're not aware. So which means now I have to go from a perspective of, I'm going to write copy saying, hey, your business revenue is declining. Okay. Your referral base is declining. And it's only a matter of time before you go ahead and close your doors. What about if there was a way out? Okay. Now I'm thinking from their shoes as far as this is what they're currently experiencing, right? They don't have any means of getting, they don't know why their revenue is decreasing. They don't know why they're not making any money. They know that clients aren't coming in, but they don't know what leads are. The reason why I'm saying this, and as a marketer, you're probably thinking, well, that's weird. Why do I know about leads? I'll tell you this. When I was initially selling insurance, when I first started, I was with a company that would make you make a list of your top 25. No one mentioned anything about leads. No one mentioned anything about lead generation. But I just knew that I was not selling. I was not selling. My first 6 months in insurance, I was not selling. Zero. Nada. I think I maybe sold and made in 6 months, maybe. I don't even think I got paid for that. I was like $180. Okay. And the reason why I'm bringing this is 6 months later, I remember this in April. I think it was April. Yeah. I ended up finding out about leads. Now I'd been marketing as far as calling my friends, but I ended up finding out about leads. Okay. And when I found out about leads was when I came to understand the fact that, okay, if leads, all right, so I knew when I started selling, I remember my first sale was like, $4,000 commission, something like that, right? But I started understanding about leads. I was like, whoa, so you're telling me somebody fills out a form, I just have to call them, right? So then now step one, I understood about leads. Then I realized, wait, if I controlled my leads, then I pretty much have control of the game. So then I learned lead generation. Then I was like, okay, so you notice how you move step by step through the ladder. So it's very important to understand your audience. Now, how does this apply to insurance, right? If you have Martha, for instance, right? You have Martha, for instance. I'm going to erase this here in a bit. You have Martha, for instance, right? Let's say you're going to write copy, right? But you want to write copy for, the parents of a house that they just moved in, right? And let's say they have the average household, I'm not sure, I think it was 2.3 kids or something like that, right? So you have, wife, husband, or however it may be, and then you have a little kid, okay? However you want to see it. Now, I have to think about it from a perspective of, okay, what is going on through the mind of this parents? They're busy, right? To maintain a household, they're busy, right? So which means I have to approach it from an angle of, okay, hey, what is the number one pain point that the kids will suffer? Because one, you're not thinking about dying. They're just thinking about moving through life. So which means I need to invoke an emotion inside of them that relates a sense of responsibility to the kids, right? Because they're always working and they're working to provide for the family out of responsibility. So I need to associate my product purchase with responsibility. Okay. So which means I have to position it from the way in which getting insurance is the most responsible thing to do. Right? You understand? You're starting to get the whole correlation there. Is getting insurance is the most responsible thing to do. If you are in HVAC, right? Home remodeling, you have to understand is, let's say home remodeling, right? Someone's got to redo a kitchen, right? You have to think about it from a perspective as to why would they redo a kitchen? If there is no need to fix it, why would they redo a kitchen? Then you have to think about it. Okay. Maybe it's an old house. Okay. Maybe for the past 5-10 years, they've had that vision of a kitchen, but they've never had the reason to actually do it. Okay. So now you have to go ahead and approach it from a perspective of, remember what your ideal kitchen looked like, or everybody deserves their dream kitchen, right? Everybody deserves their dream kitchen, right? Everybody deserves their dream home. You're invoking that emotion inside of them, right? You have to draw it out because remember, you're not there to sell them. So the number one tip is you have to understand who your audience is and you need to think from their mind. Think. The first thing I do every morning before I write and usually I'm building a landing page a day, writing cold emails, Facebook ads. This is daily. I'm doing it for about 2.5 hours every morning before I even go ahead and even brush my teeth and start my day. I know it's weird. I wake up, work out, and I go right in my computer. But the first thing I ask myself is, first question, I kid you not, I cannot make this up, is I pull up my cheat sheet and I said, who am I speaking to today? Very simple. Who am I speaking to today? All right. So, okay, good. I have to write copy for, for instance, RIZN, for instance. I got to write copy for the CRM. Okay. Who am I speaking to today? All right. So I'm speaking to, a small business owner that knows nothing about lead generation, nothing about marketing. Okay. So which means I have to position my copy this way. That's my first question. That's the first question I ask myself when I write copies. Who am I speaking to today? That's it. That's it. That's all you have to ask yourself. And then you're like, okay, I'm speaking to, I'm going to write copy for, a mom, a single mom of two, or a single dad of two, right? Okay, so now I have to approach from perspective as you are the only one that they have left. You have to understand something. That's the key thing as copy goes is understand and know from the mind of your prospect. So always ask yourself this one question. Very simple question. Who am I speaking to today? Who am I speaking to? If you know who you're speaking to, if you can think from that perspective as to who you're speaking to, you have to think like that. Very important. You have to think the way your target audience thinks, and in this way you can speak to them. If you're a business coach or a relationship coach, right? And let's say you have a perfect relationship, perfect family, perfect relationship, which there's no such thing as perfect. But now it's like, and you're targeting people with broken homes. You cannot relate. You can't relate. So you have to think about it. Who am I speaking to today? I'm speaking to a man and a woman, or I'm speaking to whoever it may be, and they have a broken home, right? They're currently arguing with each other. They're always fighting. They never have peace. The man sleeps on a different bed. She sleeps in the main bed. They barely see each other, right? And then now I can approach that copy from their life, not from yours, from their life. So that's probably the number one tip there is know your audience by asking yourself this one question is who am I speaking to? I know there's a problem agitate solution because when you know who you're speaking to, you can go ahead and go through paths very easily, right? And I know there's a spreadsheet of the copywriting, the avatar cheat sheet. I am still working on it, guys. So if you want this cheat sheet, I don't know if you're watching this in 2 weeks or a month, just go ahead and send an email in to Emmanuel@RIZNResults.com. Let me go ahead and write that out here. Yeah, so you can see it. Just go ahead and send an email into Emmanuel. All right. And please don't spam. Don't put any spammy stuff, please. And RIZNResults.com. Okay. Just go ahead and send an email to me, and I'll go and check it out, and I'll go ahead and say, hey, you know what? I like you. Let's go ahead. Let me go ahead and talk to you. But in like maybe 2 weeks or so, because this videos are made future dated, right? I'm still working on the sheet, and these videos are made future dated. So maybe in another 2 weeks or so, when the next video comes out, then there's going to be a link to download. And also another thing I'm going to do is just check the description in 2 weeks, come back to this video, and I'm going to upload this link for you to get a copy of the sheet in there, so you can go ahead and access it and then just kind of go through the whole mental process. But copywriting is easy. Like for instance, if I was going to write insurance, like I said, responsibility, 2-parent household, 2 kids. Simple. Listen. Problem, right? Target from perspective as to very important to call out your audience first. Very important to call out your audience first is listen. You can either ask a question saying, "Hey," you say, "Are you?" It's so weird. You could be like, "Hey, are you a parent with 2 kids? Are you a household with 2 kids?" It's very weird, but people are like, "Yeah, I am." Okay, or you can say, "Parents with kids over the age of this," and they're like, "Okay, now I'm paying attention." Listen, and then you want to kind of blend into like, "Hey." You go to work day to day, right? Your job is to provide for your family. Okay, now you've got responsibility, right? Your job is to provide for your family, right? Your job is to provide for your family. I'm making this up. I'm making this off the top of my head. Okay, guys. So your job is to provide for your family. Okay. Your schedule is busy. Okay. You have so much on your plate to be able to give your kids the life that they deserve. Okay. But have you sat them down and actually asked yourself, what would life be like if I wasn't here tomorrow to provide for them? Okay. What happens if you don't make it? Your kid, the last kiss you gave them was the good morning kiss or the good night kiss. Then what? They expect to see you the next day. They expect to see you at the end of the day. But then all they get is a knock on the door saying, mommy's not coming home or daddy's not coming home. What do they do now? Life begins to progress for them. They miss you. But what came after was not something that they expected. They had to fend for themselves. Barely old enough to get a job, they had to move out of the house with the parents, mutual parents. So much of all this, so much of your life changed just by losing the one person that they valued the most. And that was you. But all of this can be avoided for $1 a month. I'm just joking. Obviously, if I was going to write the copy, I was going to take my time and actually write it. But I figured that we were getting into that emotional state, and I think I was actually getting that emotional state. So you know what? I might actually have to drop a link for some of y'all to go buy insurance now. But that's pretty much it with copywriting. Just know that's the number one tip, guys. And if you want to see more future videos on copywriting, comment. Just leave it in the comments and say, hey, I want to see more, and I'll go ahead and make a video on it, guys. And that's all I got. Listen, if it's your first time on the RIZN result on this channel, do me a favor, guys, and just like the video. It's gonna be somewhere here or somewhere here. Like the video, and also go ahead and subscribe to the channel, guys. And listen, I'm gonna keep dropping content. I made a promise, not to you guys. Frankly, y'all are my internet customers and internet friends, but I made a promise to myself, right? To at least release minimum of 2 to 3 videos a week. And I'm dedicated to it, guys. So listen, I want to make sure that your marketing, your business grows. So that's pretty much all I got for you guys. And subscribe. And for that, I say enjoy.